Test one, two. Test one, two. I'm not hearing myself at all. Nope. Test, test. There is one on the side. It's a little round thingy. Right there. That's it. Test, test. Test, test. It's on the batteries. That wouldn't be green if the batteries
were.
So far,
so good. Working, as they say.
Test. Test one, two. Test one, two. Not much. Test one, two. Okay. Test, test.
Shalom. Shalom Alechem. Test, test. I don't hear myself that much either. Not supposed to, I think.
You're supposed to hear yourself out of the...
I mean, I do, but it's not as loud.
It's not loud enough.
What did I just do? That messed up everything beautiful that you were playing there. La 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 la. Shabbat Shalom. I'll keep that going. That's so pretty. Shabbat Shalom. Boy, the weather is telling us it is not mid-October, but the sun going down when it is tells us that it definitely is. And that's Shabbos time, right? We can tell that it starts when the sun and the light starts changing to that pinky glow. And by the time that it's here, we've let go of the week. Robin, you want to come up and offer us the reading on page 3 so we can light the candles and bring in the light together? Thank you. Yes. Whichever one you like.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all those who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all those who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Thank you.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, Itzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We offer Kiddush on page 5. Add a little sweetness.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lemaaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat b'Yitzrayim. Ki banu v'charta, yotanu kidasha, mikol ha'amim, Shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Okay, so I know that there is at least somebody in here that everybody of you doesn't know. So I want you to turn to somebody who you don't recognize and can't remember their first name and introduce yourself and find something out about them. Wish them Shabbat Shalom. And do what Jews are supposed to do in shul, schmooze. So. We'll schmooze more later. Page 12. Page 12.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
Page 12.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, letzor yishenu nikadma fana betoda.
Repeat.
Naria, Naria, letzor yishenu bizmirod nari neriolo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, letzor yishenu nikadma pana bitoda. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai.
We sing to God, page 344.
Shiru ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai shir chadash. I don't hear you. Shiru ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Oh, keep playing that. I want to teach a little bit. It's a lovely interpretation, lyrical interpretation of this psalm, but it's not really what it says. What it really says is all the earth sings out to God. And I can't help but think how the earth is singing out to God. God, can't you do something about these people who are spending too much time pumping out carbon dioxide and ruining my perfect balance? So maybe we can sing this, and we can sing for the earth. Because it actually doesn't say I will sing, it says the earth is singing. And I think today, with the news and the headlines that suggests that the bill that's before the legislature is about to be gutted with the environmental priorities, is cause for us to sing this again and sing for the earth. Because the earth doesn't have a voice. We have to be the voice for the earth. So let's just sing the Hebrew a little bit, because the English sort of obfuscates what it really means.
Shiru ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai shir chadash.
Thank you. Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamar v'zachor b'dibar echad ishmi'anu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ol tiferet v'leit hilah. dodi lekrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi lekrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tila lecha dodi lekrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi lekrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela hitoreri hitoreri kiva orek umi ori uri uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayech nigla lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat
Face the back.
nekabela
Ninth stanza. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'v'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha
dodi likrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Please remain standing and turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu.
רוח שערים בתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים סדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו יי די די וקיים תמיד ימלך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים די 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 מעריב
Everlasting love you've offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will rejoice in your Torah forever. And doing them lengthens our days.
Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך נספח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגן יומם בלילה לאהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. page 36. B'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi misabecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shachbecha uv'tumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu litotafot b'neinecha, uktabtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim lelohechem. Ahani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet.
Let's read together on page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you're tired or you're rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They're reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Emet ve'emunah, all this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us, that you alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. And Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, affirming this, lifting their voices joyously, as we do now on page 40. Mi chamocha. If you're moved to dance like Miriam was, feel free. Or at least move, or clap your hands, or sway.
Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, norati lo osefele, norati lo osefele, malechut hara'u vanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli, Ze'eli, anu v'yameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai,
ונאמר כי ודע אדוני את יעקב גאלו מעט חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 42 or 43.
I don't know what key I'm in. What
Wherever
key
you
are
want
we
to
in?
go.
Is that what key I'm in?
Brilliant.
Let there be love, you know it, and understanding among us. our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu, there be love, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Keep it with me. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu, there be love, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love, let me hear you, and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Just singing, no piano. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We rise. The Amidah, beginning on page 46. We can take all of those life storms and let those waves roll out from our tongue and call it out.
Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakeh Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim B'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar. Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech nemit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh Hakol. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
I invite you to continue your Amidah privately through page 60 and be seated when you are finished. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amchat Hasim Leo Ki Atam Melech Adam Shalom Tovim. Grant peace, goodness and blessing, kindness, grace and mercy to us all and to all your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, mevarech et amo Yisrael v'shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who bestows upon your people Israel that greatest of all, Shalom. Shalom comes, I'm not sure which is first or second, health or shalom. I think shalom. But we can certainly appreciate shalom when we're healthy, in a way that we can't appreciate much when we're not. So we turn to page 253 and offer the prayer for healing, the Mishaberach L'Cholim. And as is our custom, we'll call out those names of the people that we're holding in our hearts who need that kind of healing, any kind of healing. We're especially praying for Millie Rottenberg, Howard Simon, Gittel Bat Chana, Gloria Berkowitz, Bernice Portney, Stu Portney, Beryl Ben Sima Vishmuel Leib, Devorah Bat Yocheved, Steve Gellis, Sholom Avram Ben Golda Yeshayahu, Myrtle Cupid, Michael Rosenblum, Harav Miriam Yael, Chaya Bat Sarah V'Yitzchak, Hechazan Yaakov Sender ben Moshe, Maxwell Zwain, Menachem Mendel ben Yehudidu Michael, Tovia ben Bela, Dwayne Charleston, Richard Foran, Sipora Yocheved bat Avraham Eliezer v'Yehudit, Dora Montserrat, Jeff Galvani, Alan Mentha, and to these names we add May they know healing and wholeness soon. And may those who care for them stay healthy and compassionate, and may we all help one another through this time. Amen. So Shabbat Shalom. Okay. You all know, or most of you know, that I'm in the middle of moving. We've all been through moves before. It turns us completely upside down. It's kind of like childbirth, right? If we actually remembered how hard it was, we would never do it again. But we do. At least some of us do. Those who have had more than one child understand this. You'll remember this. You'll know this. Sorry, I don't mean to scare you, Elena. It's all good. It's all good. Steve and I are delighted to be moving to Jersey City, and it's something that we wanted to do even before I became the rabbi, Beth-El, and I'm more than ready to move out of the suburbs and back to a city. We know the community, and we really love it. But I can't help but think about Avraham, or this week he's still Avram, who made a big move this week in Torah. He's 75 years old at the time. Now, neither Steve nor I are that old, so perspective here is the name of the game. But it's Parshat Lech Lecha this week, and just after we're first introduced to Abraham in Torah. And when we first meet him, he's comfortably ensconced in a wealthy family, originally from Ur, we're told in Torah, Ur of Chaldees. Now, most scholars place Ur somewhere in present-day Iraq, but when I was in Turkey, not that long ago, just before the world got weird, I visited a city called Urfa, and that's actually where many Muslims believe that Abraham was born, and is the actual Ur of the Bible. And there's this huge shrine complex in celebration of Abraham. Of course, the Muslims consider Ibrahim, their spiritual ancestor, as well as our spiritual ancestor. So that's something that we very much have in common. But wherever it is that Abraham's journey actually begins, we are told that God comes to Avram, who commands him to leave his native land and his entire family and move with his wife Sarai, who becomes Sarah, and his nephew Lot to a brand new land. God doesn't give Abraham an address or directions. He certainly doesn't get a bunch of glossy photos and the dimensions to know whether his furniture is actually going to fit. He knows nothing. He doesn't know the terrain. He certainly doesn't know what to pack. He doesn't know if he'll be welcome when he arrives. He doesn't know how he and his family will be treated. God just says, get up and go. That's what Lech Lecha means. It says, get yourself up and out, go. And God says, I'll let you know when you get there. Now, we've heard this story probably many, many times, but I want you to take that in as a human being, as a person of this world, as somebody who's experienced maybe moving to someplace very different. I'm in Jersey City. I'm moving to Jersey City. That's 14 miles. And it's turning our lives completely inside out. I'm moving to a place where I know the language. Abraham likely doesn't. Steve and I have decided exactly the location and exactly the timing that works for us. We have friends. We know where the cafes are, the good restaurants nearby. We've got spiritual community. Abraham had none of this. He's traveling, flying, completely blind. Now, Steve and I, we obviously certainly don't know everything that we're going to encounter when we get here. And there are lots of changes that we're making, downsizing space and sharing a car. We've lived in the suburbs a very long time. But we have a sense of self-determination, and we're confident that this is going to be a good move and a great adventure for us. Completely different from what Abraham is facing. Abraham, he just gets a command. Now think about that. At least in Torah, does he know it's God? How does he know it's God? Granted, God sweetens the deal, right? Avram is told that he and his descendants will be blessed, as great as the stars in the skies, uncountable as the sands of the sea. But put yourself in Avram's position. Who is this God? What does Avram even know about God? The text certainly doesn't tell us about a pre-existing relationship. How would any of us react to such a command? At least with some hesitancy. Still, Avram hears this voice at a time that the text doesn't give us any indication that he needs to make any such change in his and Sarai's life. It doesn't paint him, at least not at this point, as a man of faith. Yet, he does it. Something pulls at him. And I want you to think about what might pull at you to make you make such a move. because it makes me wonder, why? What made him do it? Why would he listen? Why wouldn't he just sort of swat that voice off like, why? What makes any of us do things that don't outwardly make empirically logical good sense? And so I really want to put this out here to us, and you know me, I'm going to break you up into little groups of 3 or 4. Did you ever take a leap of faith? Did you ever make a move in your life? And I'm not talking about like religiously, I'm using that word leap of faith as a... Did you ever make a move that was based on something other than empirical facts that were before you, that might not have seemed to make objective good sense, or maybe even a little bit crazy? Did you ever do that? Did you ever think of doing it and came this close? Or just do it? So share. Tom, Elena, David, you there, and Dan, and Alex, and Seth, and Robin, discuss. Price and Marion, if you want to form a little group and discuss.
This is true. It's not based on anything logical, is it?
No, he's more like Abraham. Did he tell you about his walking trips?
No.
He's more like Abraham than you realize. You have to
What did
tell
you-
her from
My
the very
middle name?
beginning. Is it? Oh, how cool.
What did you, what was your...
I'm walking the perimeter of 26 islands, and starting with each letter of the alphabet.
That is very cool. What are you up to?
I'm skipping around. I started with Aruba and Zanzibar, and that's kind of what gave my cousin the idea. I told her,
From one
and
end to the
she
other.
said, you did an A and a Z, now you have to fill it.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
fun.
really?
But also your walks from the city to Boston
That was
and
the first
all of
big
New
walk, and
Jersey.
then- right. That was a year ago. My first walk was New York City to Boston.
And then
So you
all
did
of New
Manhattan?
Jersey.
I haven't walked the perimeter of Manhattan. Maybe I will someday. But I've lived half my life in Boston, half my life in New York, and I kind of always wanted to connect the two that way. And then I did New Jersey.
What did you tell me about New Jersey? You did that
But
over
New Jersey's
time?
not an island,
No,
is
no.
it?
No, that was before the islands.
Oh.
So my first big walk was a year ago. I thought, what can I do during the pandemic that tickles my travel? And it seemed safe to walk alone. So I did New York to Boston, and I liked it. And then exactly.
How long did, I mean, what did you do? Just like sort of said, oh, I got another hour and then I got to find a motel?
No,
Slept in your
I
car?
planned it all in advance.
Okay.
So it took 11 days. The 10th day I stayed with my parents, and we lived in Boston.
They like that.
Yeah, they liked it. It was their anniversary dinner.
That's amazing.
And then I think just a year ago I was doing New Jersey. Started Port Jervis and walked down to Cape May.
How many do you do in a day? How many miles?
New York to Boston was 22 to 28 miles a day.
Wow.
New Jersey was a little bit, I decided that a little less is my ideal, because then I can enjoy more when I get there. I was exhausted every day on the way to Boston.
Well,
So
sure.
I'd take a nap in the hotel, and I'd gotta find dinner. And I was writing every day. I kept keeping
A journal?
blog. So
Wow, wow. So how many hours is that of walking if you're doing 20 miles?
6 to 9 on the way up to Boston. My ideal is 4 to 6.
Yeah, that's great. How many pairs of shoes did you go through?
Yeah, I got them. I have good walking. Clark's, very good walking shoes.
Awesome.
So, and I know I'm going to find something interesting. Yeah, I don't know
Now,
exactly.
when you're walking, you definitely notice things that you don't notice when you're going any other way.
There was this little creek somewhere in Connecticut. I think. Does anyone ever stop to look at this creek? It's just a little highway bridge.
Wow.
Oh, if it's on the highway, probably not. In the
I mean, I didn't
neighborhood,
walk
yes.
didn't walk big highways,
Yeah,
but
but still, if it's on something where, where people are going fairly fast,
If you have children, I guess you can start 2 nations, but
Yeah, I don't think that's in my forecast. I'll leave that to my brother.
you have some nieces and nephews,
I have one nephew.
so that somewhat satisfies your parents.
How about you, Price? Did you ever take a leap of faith? Do something that didn't make empirical sense, but you just felt you had to do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I took the theater and I went to law school. That was a deal.
That didn't end up, yeah.
And then you practice law.
I did practice law for 5 or 6 years. I was paid for possibility.
Terrific.
But yeah, no, that was something.
Amazing. All right, I think we should tie this up. Okay, let's, as you're doing this, I'd like for you to think about what it taught you. If you took that leap of faith, if you took that chance, you took that risk, what did it teach you? Oh, it's not your side. So does anybody want to share something that they did that didn't make a lick of sense? They had needed to do it? Somebody want to share something? Somebody want to share with the rest of the group something that you did? Immigration from Russia to America. Just had to do it. Yeah. What did it teach you about? Did it teach you anything about yourself? You need to be strong. Maybe it even taught you that you're stronger than maybe you thought you were. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? Wow. You're right. Makes no sense at all, but you got to do it. What was it? What do you think it was inside of you that wanted you to do that? And was it the voice of God saying, jump, Tom, jump? Testosterone. What did it teach you? Did it teach you anything about yourself? Wow. Yeah. So sometimes facing your fears is the best way to kind of quell them. That was it. So I had a congregant, I had a student, and she said it was her life's dream to jump out of an airplane, parachute. And she said that if she hit 90 years old, she was going to do it. And she did it. She did it on her 90th birthday. I knew her when she was 90 and 91 and 92. And she said, if I hit 95, I'm doing it again. So I'm like, I love that. Now, I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to ever jump from an airplane, but I do have a desire to have something that I've never done before that I want to do when I'm 90 and then do it. And then something when I'm 95, please God, right? And do it, right? Right.
V'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohi. Page 284. El levavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim. Lemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiheh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Not the right date. Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen.
see, tomorrow, October 16th, Jersey City Together will be celebrating its 5th anniversary with a hybrid gathering of its member congregations. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. It was supposed to be, well, it's going to be in Old Bergen Church. It was moved indoors because they're expecting rain. It's an Old Bergen Church from 4 to 6 p.m. If you want to watch online, there's a way to watch it. There's a short program. I believe it's from 4:30 to 5. Yes, 4:30 to 5. Let's see. Registration is required. The link is in the Temple Weekly. Let's see. Sunday is a religious school day. Maura Marion and and the faculty team look forward to seeing parents and children at religious school. Let's see. The religious school is following all the Jersey City School and CDC recommended health protocols to ensure safety for our children. Enrollment is continuing. If you know anyone who would benefit by enrolling in our religious school. And the youth group will meet next week on Sunday the 24th at noon. Tot Shabbat will take place for the 0 to 5-year-old crowd on Saturday, October 30th on the Temple lawn at 10:30 a.m. Rabbi Moritz, Introduction to Judaism. He won't be outside? We'll see, maybe. Introduction to Judaism class will begin on Wednesday, November 3rd. The date was moved back by a week. It's going to run for 20 weeks. Wednesday evenings beginning at 7:30 p.m. Open to all, Jewish or not, couples, singles, and seekers. Please email Rabbi Moritz or register online on the Temple website. Okay, I'm going to skip the bar mitzvah meeting. I don't think there are any bar mitzvah parents here. There will be a session of Jews of color and people of color in the Reform Movement Affinity Space gathering. That's a mouthful. These gatherings are led by and for the Jews of color and people of color who are Jewish adjacent. And the next session will be November 22nd at 8 p.m. The link will appear in the weekly. Rabbi Moritz is also teaching an Introduction to Hebrew class beginning December 1st from 7 to 7:30 p.m. running for 13 weeks. You can email Rabbi for additional information. If you would like to make a donation, if you have any ideas for funding that could help us support the remediation of the mold problem downstairs. We've come across what is going to be a significant and unexpected expense after the two hurricanes caused our social hall to flood and fill with mold. Vadim and Anna tell me the mold is actually drying up and it's getting better. To me, I thought I could still smell it. I actually went downstairs and it seemed like there was less, but maybe it is going away. But it will be remediated soon. I'm hoping the final decision will be made on next Monday, and we'll get that moving. Seth Lubin, thank you for setting up the live stream as always, or as almost always. If anybody would be interested in helping out with that, we could use a few volunteers who could be trained. It's not so complicated. It's gotten a lot simpler. The instructions have gone from about 25 pages to 2. And if you use the 2 pages, it actually works, unlike the old version. So we do need people who can help out. We only have about 3 people right now. And don't forget our food pantry. It's open on Wednesdays. We need volunteers, and we always need donations of food. And you can see on the temple website or in the newsletter, you can see the list of things that we need, food items that we need for the food pantry. We ask people not to just sort of bring whatever they have lying around, but to bring what the people who come here need. So with that, I'd like to thank Rabbi Morit and Maura Marion, and is that Seth over there?
Yes.
Under the mask? We do.
We do.
And
Well, thank you. Well, thank you.
yeah,
It means a lot. Thank you.
yeah, you make it very enjoyable. So thank you all and for such a beautiful service tonight, and I'll give it back to you, Rabbi and Maura Marion. too far, it won't work.
But that worked out. Here, this. Yes. It was working and then it stopped. Is it on? Check 1, 2.
No, I ran out of battery.
It's out of battery, yeah. It was working.
I thought she sounded a little mushy, or not mushy. Like it was, her voice was echoing when I noticed it was early during the service. Later
Right.
on,
But I played with it.
did you?
I did.
During
I
the
went in.
service?
Yeah, a little bit. Because I wanted to balance her out. And the only way to really hear it is if it, yeah, that can be replaced. And it actually works a little better when, that's like $6 or $7, I think. So it works a little bit better, but it's still, I think, damaged. Because, you know, this is like really loud. The volume is way up. And it only picks me up here. It should pick me up here. So it's shot. They break. I bet you the circuit inside or something is loose. Or the element is damaged.
It says don't turn it or avoid the warranty.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So I think the element's probably shot. You know, look at this. You know, it's pretty beat up.
Indication that
That's pretty beat up. You could send back to Shore. They might be able to repair it, or you could just get a replacement. It'd probably end up being cheaper. How much do these cost? 300. So you don't need the receiver. All you need is the mic. How do you know that? Well, we would get the same. Somewhere on here is the frequency. Get the same frequency. That's what. She just told me the battery died. Before, in the beginning, it was on.
Yeah, in the beginning, yes, but like
Yeah, her battery.
minutes, I didn't feel.
Yeah, her battery died.
No, once came here. No, yes, on the left.
But I think it's balanced, and I think the quality sounds